Hey guys, welcome to another Hyperdash tutorial. So we've been doing a lot of tutorials on things like aim and movement, positioning, all of that stuff, but today we're gonna take a little bit of a detour and do a tutorial on weapons. Today's tutorial is all about rockets, man. Rockets are so crucial on payloads and quarry. You can even use them. It's constantly being evolved. It's a role that people are changing each season, and we're seeing more and more different types of rockets being used. But it's definitely a critical part, especially on the payload maps. So as a Rocketeer, you are pretty much the keystone to lock down the defense of the cart. You have to be positioned near resources and escape routes on high ground and inside of the cart. You should definitely be able to know your team's positions and where they should play to protect you best. But it can't be all on them to move in a place once you're ready. I kind of see rockets as the frosting on a very nice gluten-free vegan cake. First, you need your batter and your fluffy internals. And this provides the structure and stability for you to stand on. You build your tower of cake first and then apply the icing. You want to ensure that your team has the position locked down around the cart. Having the cart stop. The place that the cart stops is usually the farthest that the attackers will be able to push due to them having to actually move the cart. So you want to secure your team's position and make sure that you can hold the area down. Then and only then should you grab rockets. Grabbing them too early or having too many explosives on the map can result in a weak front line and you ultimately dying and your team losing. There's no perfect place to play rockets, only ones with good protection in view of cart. Your primary job is to stop the cart from moving and to be a distraction to the enemy while your team shoots them down. You are what prevents that 5 seconds of push that inches the cart closer to a breakaway point, and you want to cycle through pickups and health and position yourself so you can escape easily and will have warning and time if someone decided to go for you. You want to change positions often and constantly keep the enemy guessing as to where you are. In this video, we're going to go over tips for different levels of Rocketeering, starting, from the basic beginner noob stuff all the way up to SS tier. Alright, so beginners, curving rockets onto the cart. Alright, there are two ways to curve your rockets onto the cart, vertical and horizontal. For beginners, curving them horizontally is definitely easier, though both skills need to be mastered in order for you to become a skilled Rocketeer. Hold your guns horizontally like this. This is going to make curving your rockets in any direction intuitive. Curving your wrist down at any time will result in the rocket turning towards the ground almost instantly. This form of rocketing should be done mainly at short range since you can turn your rockets more quickly and you don't need to be as precise. For the intermediates out there, vertical rockets. Alright, so this form of Rocketeering is best at long range since it's more accurate and reliable. What you do is you shoot your rockets up and aim the red dots at the hull of the cart. Depending on the distance of the cart, you'll have to wait longer before aligning the dot. This form of Rocketeering though is definitely more accurate because you're using the laser sight instead of relying on your eyes. It's great for clearing payloads from a distance, but it also kind of puts you at a little bit of risk because, people can see that rocket up in the sky and can dodge out of the way. So, for the advanced Rocketeers out there, pick up the rocket in your non-dominant hand. Alright, this is definitely a tip that many people don't think about, and it's something that really I don't think a lot of people consciously think about it, but thanks to Doofus, who always watches film and advises players of the best tips to do. This one's from him. So what you do is when you're grabbing rockets, sometimes you don't have the opportunity to have two rockets. So what you want to do is grab the one rocket and put it in your non-dominant hand. Well, you might ask why you would do this. The reason you do this is because the rocket is kind of easier to aim. It has splash damage. You don't have to be as accurate with it. And so you can shoot that rocket at something and more or less hit your target with your non-dominant hand. At the same time, you have the pistol in your dominant hand, so if someone comes up to you at close range or you have to defend yourself while you're waiting for the rocket to reload, you can shoot the pistol with your actual hand that you can really aim well with. and still do some damage or even get some kills. It's definitely kind of a subtle trick out there, but definitely consider picking up the explosive in your non-dominant hand first, using your dominant hand with the pistol while you wait for your second one, and then kind of playing that way. Alright, so for the SS tier Rocketeers out there, this tip is predicting where your enemies will move. So we all know that the rockets have a very slow travel time, and it takes a moment for them to leave the guns often. So what has to happen is you really have to lead your shots by a lot in order to hit your moving target. Rockets are really so slow that you kind of have to learn how to predict where your enemy's going to move based off their patterns in their play, and routes that you think might be taken, or towards resources they might need. So for example, let's say you hit a player once, so you see that a player has taken some damage. You know that they're gonna have to go to health. So you look for there's a nearest health pickup, and what you do is pre-fire at that health, hoping that they go to it, and when they go to it, they can run right into it, boom, you got a kill. Another example of this concept would be if your enemies are on rails, right? So you have an enemy riding on the rail, they're riding towards you. Just shoot a couple meters ahead of them. Then you're going to hit them where they are going instead of shooting them where they used to be and missing. If you follow this trick and really learn how to predict your enemies and where they're moving, you will become a really, really skilled Rocketeer and some of the most annoying players to play against. Alright, so how to counter rockets. Since rockets are a weapon used only in a team setting for a specific purpose, that being pretty much to act as a buffer between you and the cart, you really need to kill the rocket before getting on cart. I can't emphasize this enough. You can't get on cart if there are rockets up, because when you get on it, they're literally just going to blow it up. I could probably find clips of you from my team I in season 2 when we played other, and we just kept jumping on cart and jumping on cart and jumping on cart and getting exploded, and no one looked for rockets. It's really, really important to make sure you take out the rockets before you get on cart. Right? So obviously, the goal of the Rocketeer is to get you to chase them, and they want you to waste as much time as possible trying to kill them while ignoring the cart. So being able to kill a Rocketeer very quickly is a really great way to counter rockets. Planning routes, making sure you have enough dashes and pickups, and making sure that you can sort of jump after they fired kind of will make it much easier to kill them and take them out. Alright, so for the final tip, rockets rely on you running out of dashes. A Rocketeer has won the fight when you run out of dashes. It's important to try and kill them from a distance and dash towards them whenever they fire a rocket. Keeping a distance gives you ample time to get away whenever you see them and gives you time to shoot them. So just to recap, for the beginners out there, when you're learning rockets, start practicing curving rockets towards the cart. This will definitely be a great skill. You can use it in pubs, you can use it in scrims if you join a team, or if you're actually on a team. The beginner rockets, everybody should be able to do that. For the intermediates, we talked about vertical rockets. That's firing your rockets up in the air, raining them down. Very good for keeping the payload clear from a distance. Then for the advanced players out there, we talked about picking up the rocket in your non-dominant hand. It's a subtle tip, but it's something that'll definitely help you improve your game a good amount. And then for the SS tier players out there, predicting where your enemies will move with your rockets. We discussed how to counter rockets. Make sure you take out the rockets before you get on a cart. Make sure you call out the locations of the Rocketeers. And remember that Rocketeers rely on you running out of dashes, so try to keep a distance, try to kill them from a distance, or even damage them from a distance, and try to dash whenever they fire the rocket. And this gives you the best chance of killing them and taking them out. Alright, so that's it today, guys. This was a short one, but hopefully you pick up these Rocketeer tips, and hopefully I'll see you out there in pubs having fun exploding people with the rockets. Maybe check out the Rocket Only League. There might be a season of it coming up. Also, be sure to check out Dash League Season 4, which is starting very soon. Have a good one.